If you're thinking about purchasing an investment property in Emerald, Queensland, this video is going to show you exactly what I look for before I lease a property on behalf of a client. Hello, my name is Nathaniel Mackay and I manage a property portfolio in Emerald, Queensland. Now here's the thing, every client that signs up with us gets this exact service. I go through the property with a fine-tooth comb before we take it on, because if there are any issues, I want to know about them before the tenant does. Today, you are going to get this service entirely for free for one of the properties that is currently available to purchase in Emerald. Purchasing an investment property, sight unseen, which a lot of our interstate investors do, is always a massive risk. But let's say the interstate investor actually travels to Emerald. Even if they see it, there are layers to this that most investors simply don't know what to look for. And that's where I come in. By the end of this video, you'll have more questions to ask, more things to check, and a much clearer picture of what you're actually buying. This information that I'm going to give you could save you from making the wrong decision and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the wrong asset. Now, quickly, why should you listen to me? Well, I manage over $90 million in property assets, have conducted thousands of inspections, dealt with hundreds of maintenance requests, and leased hundreds of properties. Right now, we probably lease 1 to 2 properties per week that interstate investors have purchased and are wanting to rent out. I do this exact thing weekly, but I actually attend the property. Today, we're doing it virtually. Here's what I'm going to walk through today on this property. First, the advertising photos. There's more information in these than most people realize. You can get so much if you know what you're looking for. Second, the floor plan. Third, the 3D tour, which is a fantastic way to realize if this property is even a consideration. Fourth, the Google Maps and the flood maps. Of course, we have to check these. Fifth, the rental appraisal and the gross yield you could get if you purchase this property. Then at the end, I will give you on a piece of paper everything that I would recommend to check if you are going to purchase this property. Let's get into it. Right, let's start with the advertising photos. Most people look at the listing photos and think, does it look nice? That's not what I'm doing. I couldn't care on how well it looks online because we all know everybody is going to enhance the photos before they put it online. The grass is going to seem greener. There are going to seem to be less scuff marks and markings throughout. There's going to be so many things the advertising photos hide, but there are some things the advertising photos cannot hide. I look at photos from a detective perspective. What is the agent showing me? And most importantly, what are they not showing me? Let's look at the first photo. Here we have a lovely brick property. You have a shade sail out the front, enough for 2 cars. You have side access down the left-hand side. There's a nice modern letterbox, garden beds in front of the door and living area space to hide and to make it more private. Evap on top, and then side access as well on both left and right hand side. I would want to know if it would fit a car down the left or the right hand side. So far, great start. Guaranteed the grass will not be this green, well, if we visited the property in person. The next one is a kitchen. I love the kitchen. It's open plan. You have a large fridge space on the left hand side. You have unique light fittings, which always help increase the appeal of the property. Security screens, 60 centimeter stovetop, integrated range hood, oven, microwave space, dishwasher. It looks really nice, especially with the vinyl flooring and pairing it with the specific color bench top. It looks great. One thing that I would check is the evaporative cooler. Many properties in this area have had evaporative coolers installed, but then they have not worked, so they are just left. And that can cause issues down the track. What I will want to know is A, are they working? And B, if they're not working, have they been correctly decommissioned? Let's go to the next photo. This is a bird's eye view. You can see you have the COLORBOND shed there on the left-hand side. You have the garden shed behind, which is great. There's more storage. You have a lovely big backyard, clothesline, paving towards the clothesline, and COLORBOND fencing surrounding the property. This is a really great start with fully fenced, modern inside, and nice big backyard. This is certainly going to attract families. The next one is the back patio. You can see here the Colorbond Shed, which is a gold mine when it comes to rentals. Everybody in Emerald wants storage for their hobby, whether it's fixing motorbikes, their project car, or their gym. Having a single Colorbond shed in addition to the garage area is fantastic. This is the zoomed out version. Moody Warra Estate is a great estate. It's not full of rentals. They are, yes, a lot of them are your older properties, but a lot of them are owner occupiers, which is awesome. I have actually lived in this area as well, and it's super quiet and really great to live in. This is bedroom 1. I like what they've done with the property, with the ceiling fans being black, which makes the property more modern. No box air conditioners, you have split systems throughout. This is an old Mitsubishi electric air conditioner. The carpet, you can see it has some wear and tear, but overall it looks great. That would mean we wouldn't need to be replacing the carpet in the future. Wardrobe and then ensuite there, smoke alarms of course. Great layout for the main bedroom. The next photo is the ensuite. It's funny, we manage another property in Moody Warra and this bathroom is almost copy and paste. The good thing is we haven't had any issues with that other bathroom, and it's unlikely that there would be any issues with this bathroom as well. You have wall tiles throughout, which increases the appeal of the bathroom. Possibly down the track, maybe looking at replacing the light fixture. It does date it a little bit. One thing that I would want to know is if there is an exhaust fan. If there isn't an exhaust fan, it can cause the ceiling paint to flake or mold buildup to happen. If the mold buildup happens or your ceiling paint begins to flake, it can cause future maintenance down the track. The only thing here that I would want to look at is if the silicone around the shower base needs to be reapplied. Let's go to the next one. This is the lounge room area, split system air conditioner, that's great. The same fans as in the bedroom, so everything's matching throughout. Vinyl flooring, blinds as well to meet minimum housing standards, that's awesome. Now this is nice. This is the main bathroom, and you have a ranged shower head, super modern bathroom, really seamless, really nice. You have a handheld shower head and a bath tap, security screens as well, very sleek, really great. That is certainly going to attract tenants. When they walk into the property, the other areas may seem a little bit dated, but if they walk into the bathroom, they're going to be absolutely blown away. Let's look at the next photo, which is one of the other bedrooms. This is a pretty standard bedroom with built-in cupboards, same fans, security screens, that's great. Now we get to go to the 3D tour. I really like these. Where will it take us first? Okay, where are we? Let's go out to the front. Okay, the grass looks really nice. That is awesome. Let's go inside. This is the living area. And let's go to the middle of the living area. This is what we saw in the advertising photos. What I really like is the blinds are the same throughout and the curtains are the same throughout. There's no mismatched curtains or anything like that. I've seen properties that have a blue and a green curtain on the same rod. It just decreases the appeal of the property so much. And it's super easy to change because you can drop down to BW and pay 10 to 20 bucks to replace the curtains. Let's go first to the bedroom on the right as we walk in. You have transition seals, which is great. That's going to increase the longevity of the carpet. That is a Daikin aircon, awesome. Yep, great. Ceiling fans, aircon, no issues with the carpet. Let's go down on the right-hand side. And then we have here on our right, the second bedroom. Super similar, built-in wardrobe, state and aircon with the same ceiling fans. I would want to make sure those stickers are removed. I have seen some properties that have settled and there's still stickers in one of the bedrooms. We don't want that when tenants are moving in. We're in the hallway now. On our left, we have the double door hallway cupboard, which is great for storage. If we go to here, we have the main bathroom. Let's see how great it looks. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, you have cabinets as well behind. That's great. Plenty and plenty of storage. Silicone application is fine. I would want to know when this bathroom was actually built and see when the warranty expires for the bathroom. That would be interesting. And also know who built the bathroom, because some bathrooms may look great, but if we look at who built the bathroom, it may not be great in 5 years. This is a toilet. There is an exhaust fan in the toilet, that's great. The tiles are a bit dated in the toilet and laundry, but that is the only area. And plenty of space to put washing machine, dryer, extra shelf as well. That's fine. This is the main bedroom. Mitsubishi aircon. Walk-in wardrobe. Now, is there an exhaust fan? There is an exhaust fan. That's great. Something that I did note, you can see there is discoloration in the grout here. That could be just from people stepping in and out of the shower. But I would want to know if it does leak anywhere out here from the shower base. And also, let's see if we can go back here. That silicone does look like it is beginning to deteriorate. It's a $100, $200 job to fix up the silicone. Not a major issue, but I would want to make sure that it is picked up. Of course, get a building inspection. Don't rely on me, but it always does help to have a separate opinion. Okay, now we are in the living room area. The fridge space isn't as big as I thought, but it's still fine. You have the roller door there, that's awesome. A massive pantry cupboard. Plenty of storage in this house, which is really great. Oh, and there's a Miele dishwasher. I'm not too sure how you are supposed to pronounce that brand, but they are really good dishwashers. There's also a filter tap as well, which is great. Integrated range hood, Electrolux oven. Awesome. Great kitchen area. Great kitchen area. Then we have the dining room area. We can see there is the aircon there as well. That means throughout the property, if it's the middle of summer and it's extremely hot, the entire property can be cooled down because the kitchen is in between the dining room and the lounge room. So if you're running the lounge room and dining room aircon, no area is going to be still hot. Okay, we are done inside. Let's go outside. Let's go to the garage first. Inbuilt garage. Let's look at the model of that garage roller door. That is one of the newer models and belts. The old ones that don't have the chain on the exterior, they have been breaking constantly recently because they have around a 10-year lifespan. Then all of these belts that have been installed 10, 20 years ago are now all breaking at the same time, and it's causing a lot of issues for owners. So it's good that you don't have to worry about that garage door belt for a while. I would recommend to make sure you get that serviced regularly to keep that in good condition. You have another little shade sail here. Can we go around here? I wonder if we can. That gate there should fit a car, which is awesome. We can't go inside, that's all right. I wonder if the TV comes with it. And then we have the garden shed. I'm not sure we can actually get out here. You may have to go through. Okay, this is the outside area. The back lawn and back area is really well kept, which is great. That's actually a really good idea for the clothesline. I might use that. I would want to know if this dog pen will be removed. I also want to confirm that all of these plant pots and accessories will not be there when the property settles. The reason for that is I want the property to be as empty as possible so that when tenants move in, they can make it their own home. Right, and that is the 3D plan. Really great, no major issues noted, but still a few things to check. Now let's look at the floor plan. Here we can see the veranda, entry, 2-bedroom on the right-hand side, garage on the left-hand side. You have to go out to the patio, then into the garage, that's fine. Kitchen, dining room, yeah, really solid choice. And I believe the total square meterage is 156 meters squared, under roof, of course. That's a solid amount for a 3-bed, 2-bath. Right, now let's look at the flood maps and Google Maps. The flood map is critical for Emerald. Emerald, as you would probably be aware, has some well-documented flood history. This is not a maybe. The town, yes, has flooded. But the last time it flooded was more than 10 years ago, but it is still good to check. This is the flood map from 2010 and 2012. We can see here that the flood water is super close to this property. This is something to consider, that if we had a worse flood compared to 2010 or 2012 flood, your property would probably have some flood damage. Right, we've looked at the flood maps. We know that there is a possibility, if it floods worse than it did in 2012, it could cause damage to the property. Let's look at the Google Maps. This here is the property on Google Maps. If we zoom out, this is the older side of town, and this is the newer side of town, so it is on the newer side. This is still relatively old compared to Lakeside, Mayfair, Miranda Heights. The great thing about this estate, as I said previously, there are a lot of solid homes and a lot of owner-occupiers, which does make the entire area a really great place to live in. Now let's talk about the rental appraisal and yield. For this property, my rental appraisal, again, this is my rental appraisal, comes in at $620 per week. At a purchase price of $520,000, that gives you a gross rental yield of 6.2%. Keep in mind that yield is not one number. It doesn't account for rates, insurance, maintenance, or property management costs. A 6.2% gross yield can look very different once you run the full numbers, but it is good to have an estimate on the potential gross yield you could get for this property. Now here's the checklist. This is everything I want to check before I would recommend purchasing this property. Number 1, the last smoke alarm compliance date. Normally, upon settlement, a smoke alarm compliance certificate should be issued. If not, the new cost is going to fall onto you. Number 2 is the last rent increase date. I did some digging and it appears that previously it has only been owner occupied, which is a great thing to note. It hasn't had multiple tenants through the property. Number 3 is there a termite barrier installed? Sure, there is a natural barrier around the property, but I want to know if there is a chemical termite barrier installed, because termite barriers are essential in regional Queensland. I had a situation the other day where I recommended to get a termite barrier installed. This is in Blackwater, where termites are extremely active and a lot of the properties are poorly made. The investor chose not to, and then 6 months later, I discovered a termite infestation at that property. And now we can't lease it until we get that fixed. So please look at if the termite barrier has been installed, and if it hasn't, get quotes, and I would highly recommend to do that. Number 4 is the last pest spray date for cockroaches, ants, and spiders. Number 5 is the last time the aircons were serviced. Number 5 is the last time that the aircons were serviced. If we are going to rent the property out, we need to make sure that the aircons are working at full capacity. The tenants will be running the aircons constantly during summer and constantly during winter when it's cold. I can't do it now, but when I go to the property, I check the interior of the aircon. If there is mold buildup, it means that it needs to be deep cleaned because we cannot lease it because it does not comply with the minimum housing standards because there is mold at that property. Number 6, as I previously mentioned, is the evaporative cooler working? If not, has it been decommissioned? Number 7 is inspecting the silicone in the shower corners in the ensuite. I want to make sure that we're not going to have any water ingress issues down the track. That will be a major cost to any investor. 9, which I didn't actually pick up if we go back to the 3D tour. If we go to the kitchen, we can see here there's a movement crack up there. And if we go here, it appears to be a minor movement crack there. On the building inspection, I would want to know if that will be any issue. You can see there's actually movement all down here. Just something to note and to ask your building inspector to look out for. The last one is confirming if all the tenants' accessories inside and outside, including the stickers in the bedrooms and the garden beds outside, they need to be all removed. The property needs to be completely empty with nothing left inside. Then the gross rental yield is 6.2%. The rental appraisal is looking at to be around $620 per week. I would recommend to at least wait 2 weeks before you look at any other adjustments, because it probably will take up to 2 weeks to secure a quality application. The key word is quality. We can put anybody into any of the properties tomorrow, but we want to put a specific application that suits the property, and we'll pay rent on time and make your life and my life easier. Then that's the full picture. The difference between a good investment and a costly mistake is always in the detail. And we live in the detail. Every single property that we go to, we have a trained eye for detail. The detail is exactly what most people skip when they're purchasing a sight unseen property, or even if they visit it, because you have to have a trained eye. In many scenarios, people are super keen to get that property, and these minor things are overlooked. Still, you may notice them, it still may be an issue, but you still want to proceed with the property. That's great, but you need to know everything about the property before you buy it. If you would like me to do this assessment on any property you're considering purchasing, it doesn't have to be an Emerald. Reach out to me directly and I'm more than happy to take a look. And one quick favor, if this video was useful, please hit subscribe. I put out this type of content regularly for property investors like yourself.